Should I give the guy on the side of the road $5? People ask me that a lot. The answer that people often spout is, well, that person is going to go spend this $5 on drugs and alcohol. And let's face it, you don't know. He may or may not. One thing that I think that we can do as believers is be prepared to offer more than money.
Many Christians want to help the homeless. Like, we understand that helping the poor is a biblical idea. It's something we should do as Christians, but I think we struggle oftentimes in what is the best way to do that. And Monique and I have had conversations on past shows about enablement versus empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an important distinction, because we believe the gospel isn't just a great idea, that it has transforming ideas. It changes people, but that kind of downside of getting government money, can limit how we go about that ministry. And I really want to hear both of you speak on this issue, because Christians want to help the poor. I think their heart's in the right place, but we don't always know the best way to do that. And I think the unique contribution of the gospel missions is important for people to be aware of.
Well, people often ask me a little more specifically, just let's be frank, should I give the guy on the side of the road $5 that I see every day? People ask me that a lot. And, the answer that people often spout is, well, that person is going to go spend this $5 on drugs and alcohol. And let's face it, you don't know. He may or may not. But one thing that I think that we can do as believers is be prepared to offer more than money. And what that can mean is, at the very least, you should know what the services are in your community that minister to people in a whole way. If you have a gospel rescue mission in your community, then it's worth checking them out. It's worth getting to know them. It's worth maybe getting your church involved with them. If not, you may, at the very least, know of programs. That should be something that you do as your homework in advance, so that when you do encounter someone, there's nothing stopping you from trying to have a relationship with someone. Maybe you walk past this person every day on the way into your building, when you're starting to walk into your building again and are not socially distancing. But say that you encounter the same person every day. Instead of dropping a few coins in the cup, you could stop, talk to them, get to know their name, address them by their name when you walk by, and in time, maybe offer them a solution. Maybe talk to them about programs that that they could get into. So that's a way of engaging people. It requires a little bit more work. It requires a little bit more homework, but at least you won't feel like you're tossing your money away. And at the same time, I would say that most people that are out there that you encounter, they don't encounter someone in a personal way. You may be the only person, for example, that addresses them by their name in a given day. And so building that sort of trust with someone will make them more receptive to what you may have to offer them later on.
But what I love about that is that what the underlying assumption of all of those ideas, Brian, is that we're treating people with dignity because they're created in the image of God. And when we call people by name and we take the time to say hello, to treat them like a fellow human person, and to find out their name and to think in advance of what are some options that are available in our community for you, we are truly loving them as our neighbor, because we are honoring them and their dignity because they're created in the image of God. We don't just give them now solutions, in the short term, because that doesn't always help to honor them. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I would agree, but I think that there are times when, we do give in the now situation. If it's the summertime and the guy is homeless and I know I have a bottle of water, I'm going to give him a bottle of water. That's a now situation. But having the information is important, because then it becomes a choice. It becomes an empowered situation. I always say, if the Lord tells you, that you need to give someone that money, then you go ahead. I would, coming from the standpoint of now having run like a not for-profit, but a organization that receives government funds, and now working with an organization that receives no government funds. I'm like, wow, if you're giving this guy like $10 every other week, how about you give that $20 here and support the organization that he could go to and receive even more service? I think that's where I'm at. Aside from that, I pretty much say kudos to everything that Brian said. In the same vein, remembering that in this time, there are also people who may not be homeless, but could actually be on the verge of it, and you would never know.
Or they're suffering with, like, they're right on the margins of not having quite enough food or struggling. I'm so glad you're bringing that up.
Do you know where a food pantry is in your neighborhood? Do you know how someone can, get in contact with the right organization to be able to assist with their food or their medical stuff? And, it's more than just the guy that we see on the side of the road. In this time, it is everyone. How there's a good percentage of people that are two paychecks away from being homeless. Well, here we are in this time, this emergency moment where people need to gear all of their money toward their bills. And a lot of times that leaves out things like food.
Yeah.
One of the things that we do is we pick up food from about 12 grocery stores days a week. And we use what we can in our programs, and then we distribute it to some local food pantries. And we have seen such an uptick on that. And I agree. I think on the other side of this, you're already seeing it. You're already seeing families who would have never thought that they were going to be in line for the drive-through food bank.
Ever.
That now they're coming every week. And praise God. I know down in Orange County, there have been some really big events, and so far that's all been manageable. But I would agree that as this progresses, not only will there be food insecurity, there's going to be a lot of drug and addiction issues on the other side of this. So a lot of the things that maybe we touch on at the rescue mission for people that have really hit rock bottom are going to become issues for people that would never find themselves in that position. Hunger, sobriety issues, abuse. And so as Christians looking to be able to help people, well, maybe now's the time you start finding the organizations that you can team up with to help minister to people and to help people get back on their feet. Maybe your church can partner with the local food bank, whatever it is. Now's the time to be thinking about it, because there's a tidal wave of need coming.